WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Fellow officers are mourning the loss of Monroe County Deputy Dylan Pickle. Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. Tributes have been pouring in on social media. Deputy Pickle was just 24 years old and was killed in the line of duty over the weekend. Today, Monroe County law enforcement tell Ali Martin about the young man who dedicated his life to serving others.
Deputy Dylan Pickle had worked with the Monroe County Sheriff's Department since 2016. He started out as a corrections officer, but his ultimate goal was to patrol the streets. The sheriff and others who worked with the deputy say he was finally living out and realizing his lifelong dream. Captain Scotty Clark says this photo on his wall captures the spirit of Deputy Dylan Pickle.
He was a character. We were just sitting there on the couch having a little break, and he just decided he wanted to come over there and jump on the back of the couch and do a little horse playing around with us there.
Captain Clark says Deputy Pickle knew how to lighten the mood at just the right time, but took his job seriously all the time. Clark says Pickle gave 100% from the time he was hired as a corrections officer in 2016. He took a break when he was deployed with the National Guard to Syria, and when he returned, he was back at the Sheriff's Department. He became a daytime supervisor and eventually worked his way into a transport job. Pickle paid his way through the police academy in Moorhead and landed a spot as a deputy. It was his dream job.
And even as a little kid, he's wanted to be a law enforcement, be a police officer. And he's spent a lot of money to buy a lot of gear for himself and to make himself successful.
Deputy Pickle had just completed the field training officer program and was ready to be on the streets on his own.
Dylan was a go-getter. He came to work. He had a smile on his face. He loved his job. He had your back.
You can second guess yourself and think that we, promote him too quick, put him on the road too fast. But he was doing what he wanted to do, and we were giving him a shot to do what he wanted to do, and he loved doing it, and I would not have changed that. I believe our days are numbered, and I believe he got to do what he wanted to do.
The sheriff and others who worked alongside Deputy Pickle know the days, weeks, and months ahead will be tough, but they also know the community M17 loved so much will be there through prayer and support. In Aberdeen, Ali Martin, WCBI News.
Love that image of him as a kid in a police officer's outfit. Our hearts go out to the family and friends for sure. His funeral is expected to be on Thursday. Deputy Zach Wilbanks, he was also injured in that accident. He's sharing a message to everyone on his social media. Deputy Wilbanks posted this photo. It says, quote, "I can't reply to everyone, but M17 is all that matters. I love you, buddy." M17 is the badge number for Deputy Pickle, who was killed in that Saturday night accident. Deputy Wilbanks, he suffered a skull fracture along with leg and ankle injuries, but is expected to fully recover and be back on the job. Wilbanks is also a team leader on the SWAT team and was recently featured in a story about this armored vehicle that the Sheriff's Department recently purchased. Now, the Mississippi Highway Patrol, they're investigating that tragic accident. This happened at a safety checkpoint just before 10 Saturday night. Deputy Pickle, investigators say, was manning that safety checkpoint at Hamilton and Sealy Road when he was hit by a vehicle. The driver of that car did stay at the scene and is cooperating with police. Right now, early indications show that this was just a tragic accident. No one was taken into custody, and so far, no charges have been filed. The Winston County Sheriff's Department also mourning the loss of a deputy. 50-year-old Leon Glenn died this afternoon at his home. Sheriff Jason Pugh says Glenn was a superb deputy in person and was looked up to by many in the community. Glenn has been a deputy since 1999. He worked a second job and was apparently on his lunch break today when he passed away. Glenn's death appears to be by natural causes. Arrangements are incomplete. New tonight, 2 Columbus men face drug charges after a traffic stop ends with a drug bust. 22-year-old Darian Dickerson and 25-year-old Jordan Miller both charged with possession of marijuana. Investigators pulled the two over on Highway 82 and Highway 45 in South Lowndes County. Agents with the Lowndes County Narcotics Task Force say they found over a pound of marijuana and another substance known as moon rock. The drugs were allegedly being taken to Caledonia, according to investigators. Mississippi Alcohol Beverage Control was also involved. More charges and arrests are possible in the investigation. A former employee of the Choctaw County Nursing Home is behind bars tonight, accused of embezzlement. On your screen here, 53-year-old Melissa Acey, the Winona woman, is charged with exploitation of a vulnerable person and embezzlement. She's accused of embezzling $80,000, which includes money from a tenant that lived at the nursing home. Ackerman Police Chief Tim Cook says Acey was working at the nursing home during the time of the alleged incidents. Ackerman Police and the Grenada County Sheriff's Department are investigating the case.
Some showers and storms around here today, more or less the same story tomorrow. Let's go up to Vardaman, and we check things out hour by hour. Low 70s in the morning, a chance for some scattered showers and storms during the course of the day, probably from late morning into the afternoon, much like today here in Calhoun County. 87, a popular number for you. A pretty nice sunset here, though, in Oktibbeha County as we wrapped up our Monday. So we had some unsettled weather earlier today. Our Alpha Insurance camera in Louisville, Mississippi shows that great sunset right there. Tomorrow, locally and across a good chunk of Mississippi and Alabama, scattered storms, highs in the upper 80s. I'm back with that updated 7-day forecast in just a little bit.
There's a dip in the daily COVID-19 cases today. However, it may not mean much, according to health experts. Dr. Thomas Dobbs reports 653 cases across the state and 6 deaths. Dobbs says that it's not unusual to see a lower amount after the weekend, and he does not necessarily believe this is a start of a trend. 9 hospitals in the state do not have ICU beds. OCH Regional Medical Center is the only area hospital that posts its patient stats online. It's reporting no ICU beds are available. 5 of the hospitals, 14 COVID patients are in ICU. Counties in North Mississippi, they're taking things into their own hands when it comes to making rules to help combat the fight of COVID-19. Clay County Sheriff Eddie Scott says social gatherings have become a common issue in the county. According to Mississippi Department of Health, the county alone has accounted for 345 positive cases, along with 13 deaths. Sheriff Scott says those numbers have steadily increased and says people from other hotspot counties have also been spotted at gatherings.
When we get people that's gathering together, 400 people, at one time, and of course, when we go and look, 75% of these people not even from our county. I see tags from the Lee, Monroe areas as hot spots, and we want to do everything we can, working with the Board of Supervisors, the City Selectmen, and law enforcement as a whole to help try to protect the citizens of our community.
Under the curfew, Clay County residents are ordered to limit themselves to essential travel only between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. School districts have until Friday to submit their reopening plans to the state. Some have already changed direction within recent days. Courtney Ann Jackson explains why some groups are asking for delays while one district is already back in.
Most of the state's educators haven't returned to the classroom, and a recent survey of nearly 2,400 Mississippi educators says many of them aren't ready. The Mississippi Association of Educators survey shows only 18.2% would prefer a traditional model, and more than 86% had negative comments about a return to school buildings.
Over and over again, we've heard from our educators that they do not feel like their voices are being heard. So the survey was one resource that we used. Their voices need to be at the table.
Meanwhile, the first district in the state is back on campus for the first time since March. Corinth School District may provide a window into what back to school will truly look like for districts allowing in-classroom instruction. Buses with dividers, temperature checks for everyone upon entry, and not with a traditional thermometer, and mask required for 4th through 12th graders. Here, they gave parents the option of virtual or in-person learning. 85% of the students' families chose for them to go back to school.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
In recent days, the State Medical Association and Mississippi chapter of American Academy of Pediatrics called for schools to consider some minimum standards, including delaying the start till at least September 1st, a mask requirement for everyone in schools, and giving every child a virtual option. For the first time since the World Wars, there will be no Neshoba County Fair. It's an eerie silence there on the fairgrounds thanks to COVID-19. Walt Grayson with WJTV reports.
You drive along Highway 16 toward Philadelphia or Highway 21 to the campground, or maybe on a back road just to see what's down there. And for a minute, your mind forgets COVID-19. And it's such a pleasant day to be doing exactly this, exploring. But then you remember the pandemic has shut the world away from each other for a while, well, except going to Walmart. Most notably, the absence of people will be acute on these 150 acres at the Neshoba County Fairgrounds this week. Normally, there would be thousands of people everywhere during the week of the fair, but not this year. Coronavirus. No fair. The Neshoba County Fair is trademarked as Mississippi's giant house party, and it's true. The cabins are traditionally overflowing with people. Some you know, others just wander in, who eat your food and sit on your porch and tell stories, but not this year. It is eerily quiet. The air is still and musty smelling. There's no horsing around on Mississippi's only legal horse racing track. No one hanging off their balcony rail at track's edge cheering on the harness drivers and their horses. No lemonade, no fair food, no carnival. Just an empty lot that normally has skyscrapers of rides to take you above the crowd below, and lots of games of chance to separate you from your change. But there's a change shortage this year anyway. No politicians promising that if elected they'll fix all the things they haven't in the other 40 years they've been in office. We know they won't, but it's fun to make them think we believe them this time. But it's the lack of people, the empty porches, the quiet that is so strange. Well, the lack of voices. The cabins make plenty of noise, straining against the breeze and tin roofs expanding under the July heat. I feel for the families that normally have their big reunions every year at the fair and have been for generations. I guess they could get together on Zoom, on the internet. It'd be nice to see everybody, but no food. Now for a place so full it sure is empty. Cabin doors are closed and locked. So unfair-like. So unfair. A year without the fair is a big letdown all the way around.
I kind of like his last couple lines there, Keith. Life is just unfair sometimes. But hey, guess what? We're getting a break from
I tell you
some of
what,
this heat.
this evening at least it's not 1,000 degrees. You know, we've got some showers and storms out there today. Relatively cool now. We got some 70s out there. Can't rule out some fog with the high humidity we do have in place, but low 70s for lows here. More scattered showers over the next couple of days and some storms. Your full 7-day next.
Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
We caught a pretty nice sunset with our Alpha Insurance camera in downtown Columbus this evening. We had those morning showers and storms carry over into the afternoon, but it's always nice to get the rain early in the day, and then we can all enjoy a great evening, and that's what we had around here. So in Columbus tomorrow, some low 70s to start out, maybe some fog out there. Broken cloud cover, and then we'll bubble up some showers and storms, and we're looking at highs somewhere around 88 degrees in the Friendly City. Some of you will be a little bit warmer, perhaps a little bit cooler, depending on where these showers and storms happen to pop up and when they pop up. A little bit earlier in the day, it could be a little bit cooler in your location. A little bit later in the day, perhaps a little bit warmer, but there will be some scattered storms out there, winds from the south. A fairly standard day for late July. Here's our first alert forecast. We've got JR. Look at JR just giving us the evil eye. Protecting the desk. Temperatures in the upper 80s for the next few days. If not the mid 80s, scattered storms Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A bit unsettled here as we close out this last week of July. Right now, we don't really have a lot of active weather in our immediate region. We have some cloud cover, yes. Variably cloudy tonight. There's a front to the north. There's a little area of low pressure weakening to our south. Those two features, along with a lot of this tropical moisture, this humidity, will give rise to more scattered showers and storms. So all of that red you saw right there over the next few days through the weekend, just moisture around. So do you want to wash the car in this? Well, don't let me stop you. Go ahead and do it. But we probably would suggest that you park that car in the garage after you wash it before one of those storms can find your location, because we do have numerous showers and storms that will be likely over the coming days. Now, very heavy rainfall down here in South Texas this past weekend with Hurricane Hannah that came ashore. The next tropical system may be lurking out here in the Atlantic right now. A 70 to 80% chance of development right here. And this would make a beeline towards the Caribbean Sea, then maybe curving back up towards the eastern seaboard, perhaps curving back out to sea as we go through time. It doesn't look like it's going to be a Gulf Coast threat. Of course, we'll keep watching. Anything can happen once we get into the heart of tropical storm season, which we are just getting into. So tomorrow morning, pretty quiet, but by midday, this is 12 o'clock, we'll likely see more of those scattered showers and storms around, some downpours, some thunder, lightning, cool breezes. The cloud cover will keep temperatures a little bit cooler, but plenty of moisture in the air to give rise to those showers and storms, and we'll just do the same thing probably for Wednesday as well. Here's your AccuWeather 70 forecast. Because of these elevated rain chances for the next few days, perhaps a little bit cooler, highs mainly in the mid to upper 80s. There's your AccuWeather 70 forecast. More of the show after the break.
WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. It's summertime and the perfect time to fire up the grill. If you enjoy grilling, Baptist has a few tips to make sure what you're eating is clear of any bacteria.
Hi, I'm Jessica Weller, the Morrison Director of Food and Nutrition at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Tonight I want to talk to you about food safety while grilling. Many factors can affect food safety. While most bacteria can't be seen, tasted, or smelled, many of these microorganisms can be harmful. When ingested, these pathogens cause foodborne illness. They spread through contact with cutting boards, utensils, surfaces, hands, and food. But your family can stay healthy if you follow food safety recommendations. Before cooking, use an insulated cooler filled with ice, frozen gel packs, or frozen food. Foods that need to be kept cold include raw meat, poultry, deli meats or sandwiches, summer salads like tuna, egg, or pasta salad, cut fruit and vegetables, and dairy products like cheese and milk. A full cooler will maintain its cold temperature longer than a partially filled one. When you are using a cooler, keep it out of direct sunlight by placing it in the shade. Ensure your cooler is in good condition, free of cracks, and has a well-sealing lid. And avoid opening the cooler repeatedly to keep foods colder for longer. When cooking on the grill, use separate cutting boards and utensils for raw meat and ready-to-eat items like fruit or cheese. Keep perishable food cold until it's ready to cook. Use a food thermometer to make sure meat and poultry are thoroughly cooked to their safe minimum internal temperatures. Always use a fresh, clean plate and utensils for serving cooked food. Never reuse items that touched raw meat or poultry to serve the cooked food. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss handling food safely while traveling.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
The high school football tour continues with Academy Week. We check in with the Heritage Academy Patriots next in sports.
Sports with Courtney Robb.
Academy Week continues on the high school football tour. Our next stop checks in with the MAIS 5A reigning state champs, the Heritage Academy Patriots. Heritage might lose a lot of talent from its big senior class. However, head coach Sean Harrison says the Patriots have the talent to return to the title game once again. Heritage Academy is stop number 36 on the high school football tour.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
2019 was a banner year for the Heritage Academy Patriots. An undefeated season capped off with the Patriots' first state title in 7 years. The question now is, can Heritage Academy have that same success in 2020?
We had a really talented senior class, but those guys are gone now, and we have a lot of young talent that would have played a lot of places last year. And so, really excited for those guys this year to get their opportunity. I think they're excited. I think they're tired of hearing about that senior class, and they're excited to get out there and show what they can do.
I think we just got to get closer and start playing together. We're really young right now.
Some big playmakers the Patriots will have to replace are wide receiver Jared Long, running back KJ Smith, and quarterback Carter Putt. All three combined for over 5,000 yards of the Patriots offense during the 2019 season.
You don't replace any of them. A special group, a lot of talent, but we've got a wonderful group to build around now, and that's the plan, is to go out and get these guys reps and watch them grow up over the next 3 years.
Just step up. First person to step up, just come harder. It's the same thing we did last year, but better.
However, Harrison remains impressed with his current group and will look to players such as wide receiver Wesley Miller, defensive lineman John Jackson, and sophomore Mac Howard, who stepped in as the Patriots' starting QB.
He's grown a lot, which was big. Put on some weight. He's throwing the ball great right now. His understanding of the offense has improved tremendously. And so, you know, he's just making that jump from a 9th grader to a sophomore, and he's a little ahead of what I expected. So, you know, really excited for that.
While this current Heritage Academy team has moved on from last year's championship victory, knowing how to win still proves to be beneficial.
These guys have gotten used to winning, you know, and they understand that, you know, we have some learning to do, but at the end of the day, we expect to go win every game we play.
A lot of pressure, a lot of people just coming out there, but we just want to do the same thing. Have fun, stick together, and play.
We just got to push everybody the hardest and make the young guys step up and do all we can do.
The Patriots begin the search for back-to-back state titles with the season opener against Jackson Prep on August 21st.
They be doing the same thing we did last year, but even better.
We plan on coming out with all we got.
With Heritage Academy on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Heritage Academy is brought to you by Animal Clinic of Columbus, Venue 208 of Columbus, and JDS Wealth Strategies.
That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back.
Pretty quiet right now, but we do expect more scattered showers and storms in the region for your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, really for the next couple of days here for the next week. Highest odds during the daytime heating from late morning through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. Scott, we may get some good downpours, some refreshing breezes. Not too hot this week, but still plenty humid.
All right. Thanks so much, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy that rain a little bit if you can. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.